When something happens to your kitchen, you might say,
"This is ludicrous."
but that won't fix your home. That will only get you the rapper, Ludacris.
Having trouble? Don't panic. Don't be alarmed. You need to file a claim? Holla at State Farm. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
That's right. You can file a claim on the app or call us.
Thanks, Mr. Chris.
No matter how ludicrous the situation, like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
State Farm, Bloomington, Illinois.
Wait.
So when discussing mental health, in the HBCU campuses, we always talk about how HBCUs are what build your level of confidence.
Yes.
I don't know who was on campus in 2012 at DSU, but Chanel and I, we was those girls.
We was those
I say
girls.
that humbly. We was those girls. But it was because of our level of confidence that HBCUs instilled in us. And Candiace, I'm wondering, how did your HBCU instill in you a level of confidence? What did that look like?
I always say that I would be a completely different woman without the HBCU experience, but specifically the Howard experience. I'm from McDonough, Georgia. Grew up in yes, we got some Georgia people in the house. Grew up in a predominantly white spaces, which I think is a lot of our stories, right? And knew that I wanted to get out and felt called to move away from home and knew that my wings were not going to spread until I left home. And I truly feel as if the person that I am today is because of all of the experiences I've had, the good, the bad, the ugly. Speaking specifically to mental health, my mother is a mental health professional, so I grew up sort of in a space where talking about your feelings and not being okay and going to therapy was accepted. And I actually went to utilize the on-campus counselors and would go to therapy once a week on campus, which I feel like really helped me to feel like I was staying grounded and, finding my space and finding my purpose and making sure that I was focused.
First of all, give it up for that answer. Because growing up in safe spaces is so important, and I love how you highlighted taking advantage of like the mental health support on HBCU campuses.
There are so many resources that HBCUs provide, and you pay for them, okay? So utilize everything, but especially in a space where you're finding yourself and you're figuring out who you are and you're away from home and you're learning how to manage finances and police yourselves to get up and go to class and manage all of your coursework and and the social aspect, pledging, all those things can take a toll on you mentally. I think it's important to add to that the benefit of a mental health check-in with a professional.
Can I see the hands of y'all who have actually utilized the mental health services on your campus? Like you go to the counselor, the peer. Okay, good. Because y'all know that's included in your tuition, right? Because you paying for it anyway.
Listen, you paying for it, so use it. Use all of it.
Exactly.
Yes. Is this all current students? Everyone, or some graduated? Okay. Just good to know.
I love that. Okay. All right. So a lot of my experience has to do with going to an HBCU. And me personally, I always talk about, I'm a psychologist, and there's only 2% of psychologists in America are Black. And I attribute my success to some of that going to an HBCU because it helped to establish my sense of identity. Yes. How did that shape your identity, going to an HBCU?
Like I said, I don't know who I would be. So my high school, the majority of my high school ended up going to Georgia Southern University. So I probably was going to go there. I had a boyfriend that I'd been with since freshman year. We would have stayed together. We might have gotten married. It would have been the same people that, I'd known most of my life. And that's okay. It's okay to be around what's familiar. But there's something magical and audacious and frightening about diving over a cliff into the unknown, and allowing your faith to be your parachute. And I'm really proud of the person that I am, because of, that taking that leap of faith. My public speaking skills, my passion for writing, my love of reading, just my confidence overall came from being on a Black campus with people who looked like me, and experiencing Blackness in a way that I did not experience it in white spaces that I grew up in. For example, what they call it the creamy crack still. I was perming my hair, child. And when I got to Howard, it's like you see all these beautiful Black women, donning these natural styles and this big natural hair. And it's like, what is that? And to this day, I've been natural since 2009. I still am in awe of my hair, because it was just not something that was celebrated. And that was just the culture where I was from. So just so much about who I am as a Black woman, I came to appreciate. My mom put a lot of that in me, but it wasn't celebrated by the community in the same way until I got to my HBCU campus. And those are invaluable nuggets that make me who I am.
Black culture feeds fashion, but fashion doesn't always feed Black creatives. I mean, only 7.3% of American fashion designers are Black. So McDonald's is pairing 5 rising Black designers with 5 fashion insiders for career-changing mentorships and the access they deserve. Because we can do better than 7.3. Together, we can change the face of fashion. Follow their journey on Instagram at WeAreGolden.
Statistics sourced from Zippia.com as of 2021.
When something happens to your kitchen, you might say,
This is ludicrous.
but that won't fix your home. That will only get you the rapper, Ludacris.
Having trouble? Don't panic. Don't be alarmed. You need to file a claim? Holla at State Farm. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
That's right. You can file a claim on the app or call us.
Thanks, Mr. Chris.
No matter how ludicrous the situation, like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
State Farm, Bloomington, Illinois.